Hey everybody, welcome to our new ambassador coaching call. We do these at the top of every month and they're always super fun because we get to talk about all the things that pertain to just kind of dipping your toes into starting to share about Plexus, which is so fun and so exciting and maybe a little scary. So this is one of the thoughts that I love to practice, which is the fact that faith and fear can coexist. So you can be scared and have fears about, whatever it is, fear of what people think, whatever the fear may be, but also proceed it by faith. If this is something that you just feel a little nudge to do, maybe some of you, have been around in Plexus on our teams for years. Maybe others of you are brand new and you're just kind of like, I'd kind of like to just hop on and be a fly on the wall and see what they all talk about on these calls. So regardless of how long you've been with us, we just wanted to say welcome. My name is Megan Goff. I'm a Diamond Senior Ruby Ambassador. I am married to Diamond Ambassador Justin Goff. This opportunity has literally changed our life. And we did not start to start a business. We simply started for the products to see if it would help finish out some mold symptoms that I was still having post mold discovery on our old farmhouse. So, and it's just been a blessing. And it is so fun to be able to share with other people and to coach others in this opportunity, whether it's like, oh, wow, I would love to get my products paid for, or, hey, how much money are you making again? I think I would like to do that. So regardless of where you're at on the scale of, I would love to help 3 people and get that initial fast start bonus, $300 in my pocket, or you're going, well, I might like to earn that Punta Cana trip. That's in February. So without further ado, I'm actually going to turn it over to Taylor, Julia, and Tara because they were going to give a little plug for something coming up next week.
Hey guys. Okay, so next week, starting Monday, the 11th, we are going to be doing a dive into like Mayakoba challenge. So we're going to be doing some daily IPAs. It's going to go all week. It is a $5 to join the challenge. We're going to be doing daily giveaways. We're going to have daily check-ins for accountability. We're going to have our own special thread to keep it really focused. We're gonna be doing all the things, all the IPA challenge. Bring us all of your drama that you have around reaching out to people or anything that you're dealing with, all of your head stuff that you got going on. We are going to deal with it together. And we're going to go through these challenges every day. There's going to be something different to do. You're going to be hearing from Diamond leaders as well. And then everyone that finishes is going to earn a very super exclusive spot on Jessica Heffley's end of the month jewel call. So you guys want to be a part of this. So if you have not seen the post on the streams page, we will try and check that out, but get in there. You can Venmo Taylor the $5, or you can PayPal me, and we will put all of that stuff in the chat here. Taylor, if you want to put that stuff in the chat here. I can't see it because I'm on my iPad, but I will try and do it after I'm done talking. But you guys, it's going to be such a fun week, and the more people that are in it, the better it is, and we can just pump each other up and get things going, so we can earn these trips, because I want to be on all of these trips with you guys. So if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat and we'll try and answer it. But we're really, really excited for next week. And we already have a lot of people in the group, so we're like, let's fill it up.
Yes. All right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Megan.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for popping on. It's always good to hear other voices. So the purpose of these new ambassador coachings is to just live coach a couple of willing people to just share kind of where their headspace is, any sort of mental drama that may be going on in your brain about this opportunity, about sharing, about whatever it is. It can be big or small. You maybe just started, whatever the things are. So the value in this is that I promise you will come away with some takeaways. I always learn from these group coaching sessions. And so grab a pen and paper so you can jot down some key things. I did want to remind everybody about the CTFAR model. If you do not know what that is, if you're new to our calls, you can actually look up Brooke Castillo. I think that's how you pronounce her name, on YouTube. And she has like a 5-minute explanation on it. But basically, if you write down on your paper, C stands for circumstance, T stands for thoughts, CTF stands for feelings, A stands for action, and then R stands for results. And so what we do in these coachings is we really dive into the thought line, because everything that we're doing flows out of thoughts that we're thinking. I know that when I first started, I had all these fearful thoughts swirling around in my brain, but I also had some other thoughts like, whoa, what could this opportunity be for our family? After I watched Jarrett Abart's Diamond documentary and saw his family and how they had time freedom and financial freedom, and I was looking at these like kind of big picture concepts going, well, maybe this is a little more than just helping a couple people at church. Like, what if this could be our answer that we've been praying about for Justin to be home more, right? Never in a million years would we have picked out network marketing of all the things, right? But I truly believe that you're here on purpose on this call at this time for a specific purpose and reason. So I'm actually going to open in prayer, and then we're going to kick off, and we're going to have Devin and Jennifer as our live coachees tonight. So thank you for being brave girls. And we're going to dive into just hearing what's on their brain. So, all right, I'm going to pray and then we'll get started. Lord, I just want to thank you for the opportunity we have just to meet together as teammates, as sidelines, as just leaders wanting to make an impact in our communities and to just impact people for the better. We just thank you for just such a great wealth of gifts in this room, so to speak, on Zoom tonight. Thank you that you have brought the Plexus opportunity, the Plexus products, to each one of these people, each one of these families. And we just thank you that you have a specific plan and purpose. We thank you that this can be an avenue to fulfilling that in a greater way. I thank you for each of the, just all the influence in this room, that we can take something as earthly as a online supplement business, and you can turn it into really allowing us to be able to speak into people's lives for a bigger purpose, even outside of health and financial freedom. And we just thank you that often we minister to people on the health level first before we ever have an opportunity to speak into their lives in bigger ways. And so we just thank you for the Plexus products. We thank you for the Plexus business opportunity and what a blessing it's been. We thank you for the growth that it's gaining in each of us. And we just commit our call tonight. Pray you give everybody wisdom and help us to just work through some of these things together and learn together. We just thank you. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Hey, I just want to celebrate. We're almost to 40 people on the call tonight. So that's exciting. Alrighty, well, I'm going to turn this back to gallery view so I can see y'all. All right, so Jennifer, I see you first. Actually, do you want to unmute and share? Tell us just a tiny snippet.
I'm outside because my daughter is watching a movie inside.
That's fun.
Yes.
Alrighty, well, tell us just a brief little snippet about your story so far and kind of where your brain space is at.
Yeah. So, well, actually, my Plexus anniversary was recently, and it's been 4 years. I've been taking the supplements. I would say there was a couple of times that I stopped. And for me, I personally noticed a difference actually with my mood swings, anxiety, and Jamie is on the phone. She's my sponsor. And I told her, I was like, that's when I really realized if they are helping me feel, so much better, then I really should be sharing these more with my friends and my family. But I struggle with it. And I will have the perfect opportunity, for example, be sitting in my car driving with other women, and I'll be drinking my pink drink, and they'll be telling me about, whatever issue they're struggling with. And I still don't talk about it. And it's because I think that they will think I'm only sharing these because I'm trying to make money. And then, maybe I'm not really ministering to them on a deeper level because I'm focused more on supplements versus, you know, them connecting with Jesus. And I just personally feel like that's a roadblock that I struggle with the most. So I'd love to get some insight from all of you because I know you are believers and strong women of faith, and I see the way that you do it, and it doesn't seem weird, but for some reason it feels weird to me. So that's like the number one. And then two, of course, it's always, well, they can't afford it. You know, they're already struggling financially. So why would I present something to them that's, you know, over $100 if I think they can't afford it? But I've also learned and realized that most people, right, they have the ability. It's maybe helping them figure out where they're spending money that they could repurpose that would actually better help their, you know, overall life, right? So those are my roadblocks. And then I do work a full-time job. I make a really good salary, and so that's also, I would say, a reason why I don't, I think, share it as often as I probably should.
Mm-hmm. So is money a driving factor for you with sharing with people since you already have a great paying job?
No, in fact, I've even said that in a post one time. I was like, hey, listen, I work a full-time job. I don't need to sell these products, but I truly believe in them. And so that's why I continuously share them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That is interesting. You know, I think one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that we have one way that we're thinking, but that's why this kind of accountability and this kind of coaching is so good, is because we can hear another perspective. And when I started sharing Plexus, or actually before, I was just like binge listening to like product videos, but when you binge listen on YouTube, it just like keeps playing, right, as you are cleaning the house or folding laundry. And so my perspective started to shift as I was listening to different people, you know, as my playlist kept running, different leaders in Plexus that were just shifting my perspective away from some of the fearful thoughts that I was having, more to, oh, that's a different way to think about it. Or, I kind of like how they presented that. I think I could own that for myself. So I think that the thing that you have to, that we, not just you, but we have to keep in mind is that maybe there's another possibility. So curious. So you said the reason why you're sharing them is because you truly believe in them, and that money is not so much a driving factor for you. Well, I'm curious, what is a driving factor for you outside of seeing like how this can benefit them?
Yeah. So, well, at first it was truly just, if it's helping me, then I want to help everybody else. Right. And then, you know, the last few months and really over the last couple of years, as I've gotten older, I don't want to work full time and be in an office. And, you know, also I want to be with my family. I want to be able to, pour into other ministries and things like that. And so when I see other people, and I've met them, and I'm like, wow, this is a real thing, and they're successful and they're helping people while supporting their family and loving other people. It's not a icky thing, but why is it feeling that way for me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably the whole like MLM too. You know, you always hear people say their little comments, and so I have to get over that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So we're unpacking a little bit more. So you do have a driving force underneath, and maybe not attached so much to like money, like I need money and I need it now, because you have a high paying, well, you know, good job. So you're looking at kind of a bigger picture. Whoa, time for like, what could more money actually do for my family? Like from the time freedom standpoint, from being able to generously fund ministries and things that you care a lot about. And so, and more time with your family. Did I say that? So I would love if some of you on this call have had similar struggles or similar thoughts that have held you back, but then maybe how you have worked to overcome those, or if you have any little tidbits of encouragement to pipe in, put them in the chat and we'll get to those in a minute. So so there's a couple different angles we could go here. I think the bottom line is you need to get in your belly, get in your like the deepest part of your soul, why you want to share. And it has to be so strong that it drives you, even if someone says something about negative about network marketing or an MLM, or even if someone might erroneously think that you're only sharing with them to make money. I honestly really feel like our brain tries to protect us so much that it'll put up these little objections like, "Ooh, what if they think this? Ooh, what if they think that?" And in reality, 99.9% of people that you share with are never going to think that because they know you, like they know your heart. And I really think if that is a fear of yours that someone's going to think, you know, basically judge you wrongly for what you're doing, I don't think that you have to worry about it because you're already aware of that might be something that they think or that they may perceive. But really, when you have your why like in your belly, it really doesn't matter, right? What they think or say. but but you have to have that kind of really solidly in you so that it fuels you enough to take action, right? And to take consistent action. So have you ever written down some of this, like why you'd want to share more or why you want to be more consistent with this because of those bigger goals that are like, you know, part of that?
It's been a couple of years. I went to your house probably like what, 3 years ago, and we did the vision boards, right? And again, there was a period of time where I was really consistent and signing people up, and I felt really good about that, helping people feel better. But I wasn't following up with them. I wasn't good at the customer care, retention. And so even when I went back and looked at my back office, I was like, wow, there's like 25 people. And, none of them are really buying. And it's because I've not followed up with them and been consistent.
Hmm. Let's go. Okay, so homework assignment number 1. Are you okay with homework assignments?
Of course. I have my pen and paper.
So this is for everybody on the call, actually. I would like you guys to, even if you've written down why you want to share Plexus or your bigger vision goals for like why you would share it so that, whatever that is, time freedom, but be super, super specific. If you just put time freedom on your paper, like that's literally not enough to keep you moving in the direction that you say you want to go, right? So you need to detail like what that looks like. What ministries would you want to fund and what kind of check would you like to write? Like how many zeros or how many commas, right? So get really specific. Maybe time freedom, like with your family, looks like taking them on a trip and be able to make like memories that would last a lifetime, right? So whatever the specific things are. So this is for Jennifer.
So would it be, is this specific enough? Sorry, Megan,
Yeah,
not having to work for somebody else, and being able to financially support my family while, helping other people. Is that specific enough?
Yeah, that's specific. And I would write down, like just literally brain dump onto the paper. Like it can be however long you want it. Like that could be one thing. I would just keep writing and writing, like get it all out on paper, like get your heart out on paper. And then when the negative thought comes or Joe Schmo from church makes a comment that's negative or like that zings you a little bit, you can go back to the paper and be like, oh, right. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And because really that's really what matters. I know my husband has said before, he's like, please God, please your spouse, and do as you please. Really, it goes back to if those other bases are covered, really, like we live for an audience of one, right? And so I just always go back to we have to know why we're doing what we're doing. And it goes for anything, any sort of entrepreneurial endeavor, or even with homeschooling, same concept. Like for me, the negativity, the doubts from my own brain just torment me. And so I have to have rock solid belief in what I'm doing and in my conviction there in order to move forward. Anyways, I don't want to do all the talking here. So curious, what is the underlying fear with people thinking that you would make money off their order? Is there an underlying fear there?
Oh, I think it's just, the whole salesy thing. And I think it's just me needing it needs to be natural, like just be myself. So when it is, when I am in an environment with them, as long as I'm having a conversation and being myself, then it's not salesy. It's when I'm trying to be somebody else or maybe, use a script or something, then that's probably when I feel salesy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think if we define what sales is. It's what is that? The transference of inspiration. Am I
But
getting? Yeah. Well, and just having the perspective, like sales is serving, like you're meeting needs in some specific way. And I very much had a similar fear. And one thought that came to my mind when you were talking was like, you just need more practice. Like practice,
Yeah.
practice. The more you share with people, even if you feel like you missed the boat in the car with a bunch of women that were complaining about their health, there's no written rule that says you can't go back and be like, hey, when we were in the car the other day, I totally like, or for whatever reason, I just felt like I couldn't get the words out quite right. But I wanted to tell you about the supplements that have really helped me with my health. And it's, just lay it out and be like, and when you're authentically sharing from your heart, like that is the most beautiful thing. Even if someone is a no thank you, they will feel honored that you thought of them, that you love them enough. And I think that's what we have to remember is like someone loved us enough to tell us about Plexus. I had a lot of people in my life. I'm sure Jamie, maybe other people shared with you, or maybe you went to her, however that worked. But you probably saw a post, or she maybe reached out to you or talked to you at work, however that was. But did you think she was salesy to you?
No, in fact, at that time, like I am so grateful because I was like super anxious and depressed. And today, like I was on my way home from work, I'm still emotional from it because it was 7 years ago. And I was like, wow, you were unhealthy. And I
Mm,
just, God, and all night I've just been praising him
mm-hmm.
for feeling this, good. And so I'm still emotional from it. But that's where I just need to be authentic and really just share
Mm-hmm. Do you
and
see?
not try to sell. I think before it was my approach too. I really was just trying to make a sale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your intention behind what everybody's intention behind what they're doing totally impacts the results that they get, right? And so it's this journey of learning. Like nobody has it figured out yet. We're all learning together, and even being self-aware enough to notice that, ooh, maybe I was being salesy because I was approaching it more from like a transactional sales perspective versus how can I serve this person? How can I love them well? How can I introduce them to products that have literally been life changing for a lot of people? And also, you can say the business opportunity too, whatever angle you're going with people. But curious if you see the potential for somebody having a life changing testimony like you have had and crying tears of gratitude because you were sharing because you introduced the products to them. Like, do you see potential with others in that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've shared, I think my mistake, Jamie's told me, like, I am sometimes too kind. Like, I'll give it to people because I'm just like, oh, this is going to help you. And they have to be willing to invest, right? And purchase it themselves. And then, like, for example, some people will even tell me that they noticed and they, saw, but then they won't be willing to purchase it. And so I get discouraged and frustrated. And again, I think my approach was wrong. And I need to not just be giving it either to people. They have to be willing to invest
Mm-hmm.
and more practice with how I'm presenting. Like one time I shared with Jamie, I was like, I think I shared too much too quick. That she wasn't able to digest it all. And it maybe was just overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. But that's good awareness that you noticed that. I used to do that all the time. I'd send people reams of information. Most
Yeah.
people don't care. Most
Yeah.
people want to be like, it worked for you? Okay, tell me like a little tiny cliff notes. Okay. And they're either, yes, they're either in or out, or, maybe
Yeah.
not. So I think that you operating from more of a sharing perspective could really give you a different feeling to operate from. So I'm curious, what feelings come up for you, one, when you think of the potential that people could have in their health and or finances, and also what feeling pops up when you think of yourself as sharing something that's been a blessing to you versus selling it to somebody?
Oh gosh, it gives me so much joy, right? Like what a blessing that would be and an honor to be able to see somebody else,
Hmm.
go from depressed and anxious to living a life where they're able to serve their family and, live a happy, fulfilling life. That would just be the greatest ministry of all, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that totally ties in with your fear of sharing Jesus first versus not. I go back to thinking about how Jesus ministered to ministered to people's physical ailments a lot of times before he ever ministered to their spiritual issues. And so that may just be something that you have to wrestle with a little bit, and also just pray over this whole thing that, and I've shared this a lot, but the scripture in Psalm 90 verse 17, where it talks about God blessing the work of our hands. I also add in there, magnifying the hours in our day. But the Lord can bring you people that need the products, need the opportunity, and put people on your brain. So I would highly recommend, and this may be just kind of another little shift or pivot in that whole sharing versus selling perspective, that when you approach it from kind of Holy Spirit led reach outs or business approach, that may take the pressure off of you feeling like you have to do it all, but you can be leaning on the Lord to show you who, because he can literally bring people to your doorstep or to your Facebook inbox, whatever the thing is, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a little bit of a shift.
Try that, because I saw Linda's recently about her starting to pray about that. And, people do come to mind. And then, I just let it, the enemy, right? Or I don't follow up on it. And so that's where just the shift with my, business, the salary, right? It is comfortable now, but it's not going to be that. I don't know how long it'll be that way. And I don't want to have to work for somebody else. So I think that's where if I could focus on sharing and focus and being able to help other people, but also seeing that I should get paid to help other people. It is a service, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And that's a way for me to be able to help my family.
Right. Yeah. I love that. And
hey, Megan, can I chime in?
Yes, please do.
Okay, well, I just wanted to share just a snippet of experience from last week. Megan and I are both diamonds, and we want y'all to understand that the same obstacles and thoughts you're having, they're normal. You're not alone. And I had a good couple friend at our church share with me that he was having bad kidney issues. And in the moment, I felt like I wasn't going to say anything, because I thought I want to let them know we're praying for them, we care about them, and I sure wouldn't want them to think I was trying to capitalize on a tragic situation. All the same thoughts you just expressed. But later on, a little later, I gathered some perspective, and I wrote this in the chat. Okay, even if I were sharing for the wrong reasons, would it bless him? And do I care more about protecting my reputation from their potential thoughts that they might have, or do I care more about blessing him? And that's how I shifted. And I reached out and I shared a video testimony with them, and they came back and said, we're going to get on this. And so if you will take the risks, you will start to mount up evidence to the contrary of what you believe right now. Like right now, if you believe, oh, they're going to think I'm trying to capitalize on their tragic situation, you're going to keep believing that until you take an action that gives a chance to prove it wrong. And I have enough evidence in my toolbox now over 8 years of going, okay, there's that thought. Here's what I'm going to choose to believe instead. And here's the action that I'm going to take from that belief. And you're going to have a couple of times come up where they come back and go, oh my gosh, thank you for showing us this. We're going to try it. And it's going to help just serve as that evidence that you need. And then I also wrote this in the chat, which you have been expressing so beautifully, but I wanted to read it for the recording. The definition of selling does not mean unethically taking someone's money. Selling does mean a mutually beneficial exchange of services and energy for compensation. Paying for quality supplements and your support and guidance generally raises the stakes and makes your clients more likely to achieve the results they want. And getting paid allows you the capacity, energy, time, and freedom to continue to help more people. And you said all of that over the course of what you were saying. So I just wanted to say that out loud on the recording as well. And also just share with you that happened to me last week. And after I thought through it and shifted how I want the belief I wanted to act from, a little piece of evidence is now in my toolbox. Like, okay, that was a good decision. And of course, when I reached out, I said, I just would have felt terrible not sharing this with you.
Right.
So.
Right. No, that is so good. I mean, what if, right? It really is something that could potentially help him, right? Even if it's just feeling a little bit better and having a little bit more energy. And as you were saying that, it made me think about, it's just like building our faith. right?
Mhm.
Until we grow into the maturity, it's really difficult. And so right now that's where I'm at, and I'm gonna be consistent. Jamie's my accountability partner, and so I will write out my why. And
God
yes,
increases our faith through simple obedience. Like simple obedience is how we take the steps, and then he increases our faith. I love that.
Mhm.
good.
Love. And I was going to mention just really quickly, I love asking myself the question, why is it a problem? And that's in everything, not just Plexus stuff, but in my brain. Why is that a problem? Okay. Well, why is it an issue? I mean, just plain devil's advocate here. Totally fine if you want to kind of think of yourself as sharing versus selling, but selling isn't wrong. And like Carissa just shared that definition, selling, we do it all the time. We do it every day. I mean, we're getting our kids to eat their broccoli. We are talking to our teenager about XYZ. Like we're, selling our hubby on this place to eat for dinner, for date night, whatever. Right. So I think when we own the fact that we actually are recommending stuff all the time, we're essentially referring, we're recommending, but the compensation part of it, I wrestled with that a lot. And I remember Jessica Heffley, it was the one thought she said that shifted everything for me. I was thinking of as a Sapphire ambassador and was like, that's it. She said, the world runs off of business. And we pay every other service person in our life. Why is this any different? And so it just shifted that enough for me to be like, oh, light bulb. That makes so much sense. So homework number 1 is journal your why and get it on paper. That pen to paper thing is a thing, guys. So all of us rewrite it this week. Okay. Number 2 is go listen to the Lori Harrison Get Out of Your Comfort Zone video. It's an oldie, but it is so good. It's on the team page. If you just type in Lori Harrison, so good. It's really what shifted a lot for me right when I started to share, because I was very fearful. I had a big mountain of fears to overcome. And keep us posted on how things go. I'm excited for you because as you take the action, your belief, your faith, the motivation, the excitement, the proof of oh my goodness, like I had my first thank you. Like how exciting is that? And just to think about the potential of how you could be that catalyst in someone else's life just by simply sharing. So thanks
Yes.
for coming on. Thanks for being brave.
Thank you all for the encouragement, and I'll follow up.
Yes, and just as a little reminder, don't forget to check the chat because there's like a bunch of comments that everyone was really being sweetly supportive. So roll through those, take screenshots if you want, and then
I took screenshots for you.
Oh, Jamie's on it. And then also, those of you who are getting coached especially, I would encourage you to go back and listen to the recording of this and take notes because there may be some things that pop out to you as you're listening back through the second time, not, sweating and nervous, being in the hot seat, so to speak. So, all righty. Devin, are you ready?
Yeah, let me unmute myself.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to finally meet you.
This is so fun. All right. Well, tell us a tiny bit about you. I know a little bit about you from Carissa sharing that you're a fitness gal in your community, which is exciting. So share a little bit more with everybody.
Yeah, okay. So let's see, my youngest just turned a year old. So life is all over the place right now, and my husband and I are actually in the process of moving. So trying to move the needle a little every day is, it's a thing when you've got this many irons in the fire. But I'm Devin. Like she said, I've been in the fitness and health and industry for, I don't know, probably 23 years now. I'm not doing a lot of one-on-one strength training anymore. I do more posture management, pain management, and nutrition coaching. And so my journey led me to Plexus through my daughter in school with Carissa's daughter. She was always opening this little jar, and I would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And so we chatted, and after receiving numerous invitations to events, which I wanted to go to even the earlier ones, I didn't make it. I did finally make it to one, and it was some of the simpler products that we have that are so impactful, the Hydrate and the Active, that drew me in to help my husband. And so got all the information, went on vacation, talked to my husband quite a bit about it. probed Krista quite a bit about things, and she was very informative, and she kind of went above and beyond to help me get the answers to the questions that I needed. And so I decided to jump in. We jumped in big time, and I'm approaching my 3rd month on product now. My husband and I both did a reset. He's also on product, and he's too busy to kind of keep up with stuff, and I know that. And so I get up early in the morning and I make all of his stuff in advance. I even shake his drinks in advance and put all his little bottles, and I have things on the counter in the morning and at night. But he put on a pair of jeans the other day that he hadn't had on in 2 years. So even though he's not eating perfectly or even having time to do all the things because we're so busy, it's making an impact. So I went senior silver pretty rapidly because I felt so moved. I just kind of like jumped in, and I had quite a few people that I really wanted to just initially feel the magic that I was feeling. And so I made some lists and jumped in, and I feel really motivated for a variety of reasons, some of which we kind of already covered, but mostly just wanting people to feel better and knowing so many people that need that, and feeling the personal responsibility as a Christian woman, as a health practitioner. When you know something that works, and so many people, and God wants us to be healthy. I think about 3 John 1:2, like he wants us to thrive in that way. And I feel really good about Plexus. I think for me, sometimes I just have so much on my plate. So if I didn't have all the little people right now, I would spend 14 hours a day, and I would crush, I would crush the system. I mean, I would just live it, and I'm living it in the ways that I'm available to do that now. But trying to find the balance for me is a stretch. So these are my biggest struggles right now. It's trying to find the balance for me, because I want to do these things, but I'm called to be present with the littles because I have different ages. The positive and the negative feedback from clients. I have a lot of level 1s. Anytime you get the positive, it just motivates you. Like even today, it was just to hear her, I'm less irritable with the children when I get home. I'm not as bloated. I'm feeling really good. It just motivates me a little bit more each day to keep going when I maybe don't feel it, or hearing like, I think I'm having less heartburn. And I'm like, you're absolutely having less heartburn. It's just these little things, and so the positive feedback really motivates. But when there are people that I'm running into that, when there are people that need more hand holding, which historically I need to remember some of these people have always been that way. I just don't have necessarily the bandwidth right now to do that. And so I'm just reminding myself that, God's going to lead the people that need to be helped. And I'm just trying to walk in that and stay in. I really, really go the extra mile with my clients. So I just kind of reach out to people all the time, trying to put a system in place on the front end. And I know we have the drip where every so many days we communicate certain things. I've been doing that for so long with my clients anyway. So it's kind of natural for me to want to reach out, but just getting more organized on the front end with that, putting those systems in place, which after this move, I plan on doing a lot more of that behind the scenes kind of business side of things and getting a really solidified system. I have a meeting tomorrow to put together a link tree. I'm trying to get prepared to have more of that presence. But I am struggling with that. I will say that I've always been an extremely private person, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never really needed social media to do that. And I usually have even had a waiting list, for people to come to work with, and my ability to do that. But I want to be able to reach more people. I feel like it would be, a really great thing to do, but just actually doing it is a stretch for me. So I think that's my that's my other hurdle right now. So I think finding the balance for the work we're doing and unearthing the, I guess, courage to put myself out there in that capacity. And I've talked to Carissa some, and I've listened to a lot of stuff, and I will say, like you said, I feel like I can tell in the days when I don't listen, when I don't feel, when I don't double duty, when I don't double duty during all the tasks, when I can feel that you create space in your mind for the negative voice to come in. So just remembering to keep my podcast flowing and to keep the search going and listening to the testimonies and all of that is extremely helpful. But I think I'm just in a unique place right now where I really do have some major life things going on with the move and everything. But I mean, otherwise I feel really good about it. I know I want to get to a place where I'm duplicating. And I have my hit list for, and I'm seeding in that capacity, but it's going to be in God's timing for me for sure. As much as I would love to just make that happen, that's a challenge for me. That will be a challenge for me.
Okay, so I heard you say 4 things that you feel like are kind of like hurdles or things that you're working on either overcoming or getting better at. So first one is a tug on the time. 2,
Yes.
second one is positive wins versus negative wins, kind of struggling with, maybe where your emotions go with that, and or just feeling like needy people take time.
Yeah.
Back to number 1 struggle. And then the third thing is getting organized or feeling organized enough. And then the 4th thing is duplicating. So, okay, let's talk about the struggle on time, because even though you may feel like you're the only one with this struggle, it is common to, I would say, probably most of us, because, me personally, I have 7 children in homeschool. So I feel like I have a very, very full plate, a full-time gig going already. And so I think all of us have our version of 7 kids in homeschooling, right? That's just my thing that takes a large piece of my time. And so you made some of your organizational stuff, or some of the just like feeling that you're noticing, may be because, you're in the midst of a move. Your brain space is kind of like going in a lot of different directions that maybe normally wouldn't be. And so be patient with yourself, and like as you go through this transition, because you're in a time of transition, and you see the potential for, man, if I just didn't have any distractions, I could like kill this. And so my question is, why is it a problem that your time is limited? Is it a problem?
No, because I love my responsibilities. They're my family. I mean, there's, I mean, I could go real deep with that. I just feel like I just want to make sure I'm keeping my priorities in order. And my mom, my mother, my grandmother, I said, charity starts at home. And I know that we're called to do lots of things. And so I have to remind myself, is this my season to do that, or is that later? Because sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much.
Have you written down on paper like what your top priorities are, and comparing that to like everything that you're doing?
Not yet. Not recently. No, I don't think recently. I think I came off from vacation, jumped in, felt amazing, and just literally hit the ground running. Was like senior silver in a few weeks. Like, let's go, everybody, which is old Devin, like,
you're in the whirlwind.
Driven like that.
Drinking out of the fire hydrant stage, and you're helping.
Very driven, really contagious, motivating energy. And so everybody's like, yeah, let's go, But I really feel like, just my priorities, and I probably do need to write about that a little bit. I feel like I could easily get some structure and carve out some time that I don't feel interferes with where I need to be. I mean, clearly, if you're raising 7 children and you're homeschooling them, you're doing both. You're not running around with your devices all the time. You can't do it, right? You have to set boundaries. And so I'm really just trying to find that balance, but it's all so new. Like, I'm just now about to place my 3rd order. So like, it's really new. it's all extremely new and it came quick for me. But I have the vision. I have the vision and I see the fruit and I feel God's hand in it. So I feel the support. Absolutely feel the support. I mean, on every single level. So I know that whatever I struggle with, I can get help with that. I'm not in this is not the wilderness at all. So
Yeah, and I just want to say for everybody that's on the call, if you're feeling like like you feel pulled in a lot of directions, that may be a little signal that you are feeling in your body to pay attention to just like I encourage Jennifer, like get your brain on paper. So same thing goes for like time scheduling or feeling like, whoa, like where are my priorities? Am I spending too much time doing this or this or that? Or how could I pare down maybe some things that I don't even love doing anymore to carve out more time for what I am loving, which is loving on my children, meeting their needs, all the things, and
right.
growing my Plexus business. So you may be in that season of like figuring out maybe there's a shift going on and you're just becoming aware of that. So any of you that are in that space, I would encourage you, just get it down on paper. Maybe consider doing a time audit. I'm a big proponent. This is how I have to live my life, but like off of my daily plan, right? Plan for the day. But that is a good thing to do. But it's also good to just do a time audit. And then this came to me from a coaching session with Jessica Heffley and Emily Gibson when they just coached me and said, okay, because my big thing was, I don't feel like I have time. Like I don't have enough time in my day. And I can only sacrifice so much sleep. And we don't want you sacrificing sleep because that will mess up all your adrenals and all the things. So Jessica encouraged me to go home and just follow myself around for like 2 or 3 days. Just pop it in the notes in your phone, kind of like what you're doing in it every given hour-ish or so. And what I took away from that was like, oh my word, I love how my time is being spent. Like, I really feel like even though I'm kind of ping-ponging from changing a dirty diaper to reading a story to helping someone with math to, popping on a team call or whatever, it's just like this beautiful flow. And it really gave me some perspective on like where my time was going. It's also good to see if there's any like leaks or pockets of time where, maybe you could tighten it up to spend it on something more productive. Maybe there needs to be more delegation in your house, or maybe it looks like having a shareholders meeting and being like, hey babe, okay, so I really see the vision for what this could be. So how could we make this work even better? Like, so don't be afraid to have those conversations with your spouse or your kids, or just team up, because really, I tell the kids all the time, teamwork makes the dream work. And it's good for the kids to do some more things, right? So that's maybe just a couple of ideas, and even a little homework assignment, just like brain dump.
Right. Yeah.
Fabulous. The other thing I was thinking too is like, I call it the struggle of the juggle. There's like our time every single day. Like we only have 24 hours. We only have 100%. So it's not like 100% of us can go to our family or to church or our ministry or our business or however we make money, right? So because we have a finite amount of time and percentage, right? We have 100% to divvy up in between, kind of like you said, the priorities. And so I think that there's just this ebb and flow, give and take amongst the priorities. And so I just call it the struggle of the juggle. And it's like this coexistence of all the beautiful, mundane, chaotic, and amazing things all wrapped up. And so I don't know if that helps to just with your brain space be like, okay, it's okay. Megan feels it too. And I'm sure people can relate to you on this thing with time, feeling like you need to get more organized. I will be the first one to tell you that be organized up to a certain point so you can be productive, but sometimes people are over organized, where I see them color coding these big fancy binders and it's like amazing, like it's beautiful. But I will tell you, I have made millions and kind of been a hot mess in terms of being organized. So in case that encourages you, I would say if you're feeling like that feeling in your body, like I need to get a little more organized. Well, it may be as simple as just like popping a little simple system down on a piece of paper and be like, okay, I want to make sure that I have a little checklist so that I'm doing this every time when someone new starts. Or I don't need to be writing out this welcome text every single time I sign a new person. Duh, write it once, pop it in the notes of my phone, and then I can edit and copy and paste to my new people, right? Sometimes it's just that with
Right.
you're learning those little tricks of the trade to help things be easier and more time efficient for yourself, you know? Let's talk really fast about duplicating. So tell me, so do you have, how many people do you have on your team currently? And all
Just
level
they're all
one?
level ones. At this point, they're all level ones. And I don't know, it's like 12 or 13 or something. I don't know.
So for those that are on the call that are new or maybe haven't even started to share yet, Silver is the first drink in Plexus. And that is when you help 3 friends get started on Plexus products. So you'll refer them to a welcome pack, either a basic at 112, encouraging people to do at least 1 add-on product, maybe 2. If you hit that 150 personal volume threshold with your new VIP customer, you will actually earn more credits for this Punta Cana trip. So just side note, so silver is 3, senior silver is approximately 9, and then gold, which will be your next rank, is approximately 17. It kind of depends on if they're all level ones or you have some people sharing type of thing. But for easy math, you can say senior silver is 10, gold is 20. It gives you some buffer. So one thing that we definitely encourage, especially as you start to think about building beyond senior silver, is to encourage people to share, encourage people to talk to their mom, their bestie, their hubby. You know, maybe maybe they would be willing to make a post on social media. And so curious, like what you have done so far with the people that you've shared with. Have you talked to them yet about sharing with anybody?
Yeah. I feel like some of the people that jumped in were going through a huge transition also. Another one was moving, another one just started a new job, was in the process of starting a new job. Another one has a child on dialysis who's waiting for a transplant. Just people just have a whole lot going on. And I don't mind selling because I feel like when I'm selling something, it's there is a reciprocity there, but it's everybody's best interest. So don't feel bad about the selling aspect of it, but I do respect people's time. And so I'm not trying to be pushy or, bother somebody, too much. So there are quite a few people that I'm staying on top of. There are people that I know would, if I could just let them catch that vision, they would have not only the healing experience that they're needing to have, because I'm able to see that, but then they also have, this opportunity would give them the ability to do all the things that they're wanting and needing to do. And so if they could just see that themselves, I mean, I'm like, here it is, and I'll just keep putting that in front of them in a bunch of ways. Like another friend of mine just got married. She has a new baby. And I was like, and I tried, but I only had, the window was small. I only had like 3 weeks, and I kept trying to get her and her 6 bridesmaids to reset, right? But she just couldn't get her head around it, but they sure needed to. They sure needed to, and they really needed to. And they would have felt amazing, but they really need to now after the party because I was there. So
The door's
I'm
still
gonna
open.
stay on top of them. Yeah. I mean, and I also have friends that I'm after that I'm like, they have this whole life that they're really comfortable putting on the social media, but there's just nothing there but them doing that. And so I'm like, why wouldn't you want to help others? You have a heart for the Lord, you have a heart for other people, you're not afraid to share your life, your children, your family. Like you should check this out. So, and I've talked to people about sharing too. I've had the wherewithal to ask people those questions, like, you're feeling really good, don't you know somebody else that you want to feel good too, the whole shebang. And I've run down that list, and I have some people that I know will come in when their time is right. My best friend, she'll be a team player, and she'll duplicate, and she'll be great. I took her to dinner about halfway through this journey, and I was like, look, because she doesn't have the confidence to sell. But we're both retired professional athletes. She was, a world champion athlete at one point. She's phenomenal. She has a huge following. People love her. But, she's just like, I can't sell. Well, I'm like, you don't have to sell, right? You just have your personal experience and you just have the heart and ability to share that with others, which you're great at doing. But I know that she'll do great. She's gonna hop into a reset next month. She can't do it this month. I mean, if I had funny money, I would just pay for everyone's stuff right now because there's so many people that I just really want to have this experience. And I know it's just a matter of having just a little bit of the experience, right, to get them going. But it's just a matter of patience. But I have thought in that way. And speaking specifically to certain people, like some people I knew at our first meeting, I was like, look, I give it to them in levels, like this is what we're doing, but this is what we could be doing, right? And this is what I see us doing. But that's not for everyone. Eventually, maybe, but like I don't hit everybody like that in the beginning. So, and then if I don't hear from somebody, I'll hit them again. I just kind of let the spirit lead in that way. But I am thinking along the lines of duplicating. And I heard Brittany Howard say, make your list of who you see yourself going on a cruise with and spending your time with and doing these things with, right? Who are those people? Who do you really want to do business in life with like that? And so I'm also keeping that in mind and not just gunning for just anybody. But I'm also making sure that I speak to the least expected person because you never know where that's going to come from and it can surprise you even. And so I am communicating to everyone. I'm opening my life up I had business cards made and I am opening my life up to people more in that way. So yeah, people can surprise you. Yeah. So I am thinking along the lines of duplication. It just hasn't come to me yet.
I like the yet part because
because it's coming.
Sometimes people have to have a product experience first before they're willing to talk about it. And that
absolutely
is fine. And then other times there's people that you can encourage to grab a couple of accountability partners to do it with, And so I think the key is if you are planting little seeds, then you can nurture those seeds and they will grow at different times. I have multiple people on my team that are Ruby, Senior Ruby, and above that were on my team for like 1, 2, 3 years before they started to share. And so that is totally fine. It doesn't have to always be like in the fast start window, right?
Right.
The way that Plexus has revamped it is great because people can have a product experience for really as long as they want. And then once they sign their first person, they can choose to upgrade to become a brand ambassador and kickstart that. So so in light of homework, if you're game for homework, I would make a list and pray about those dream team people. And it may be a little bit of a shift, especially for you as a fitness instructor and kind of the client relationship that you have with people in the health angle. It may be a little bit of a shift to be like, well, let's think about some people that would be amazing at this business. Who would I love to be working with? Who would, who may be a surprise person, right? Because there's those people that pop up too. So I would highly encourage you to make a dream team list and then also act on it. It may be a little uncomfortable, I don't know, or maybe completely natural for you to just be like, hey, you should come do this with me. I'm loving these products. I'm actually loving this opportunity and I think you would be amazing at it. You don't have to really even say more than that. I literally messaged a girl it was like 2 Augusts ago. And I'm like, Chelsea, I think you'd be great at what I do. Would you be open to chatting about it? She's like, sure. So we just hopped on FaceTime. She was cutting up chicken and she put her kids to bed and I was chatting. So, I mean, I just shared my story. And so she started.
Yeah.
And she actually double earned the 2021 Leaders Retreat. She earned it and her hubby earned it. I mean, she earned it.
Aw, that's great.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just that simple little message to somebody and people surprise you. People that do work this business and also the people that don't work this business. It's super surprising. But I think the key is sharing with everybody to let them know, hey, I would just feel bad if my friend didn't tell me about this. And even if you're mostly here for a product experience, I wanted to tell you that if you help 3 friends do what you just did, you'll make over $300, which would more than cover the cost of your products for the first couple months. And then you could even say, I never want finances to get in the way of your health journey. So this is a really wonderful option if you're willing to share it with people. And that was me when I started. I was like, I'm already telling people about products at the health food store and they're going and buying herbs and supplements. So it didn't feel weird to me. So don't prejudge. And this goes for everybody, not just Devin, but like, and I'm talking to myself too. We cannot prejudge who will or will not share. And so share it with everybody and then plant little seeds. Like Brittany Howard had those really great conversation starters for encouraging people to join us on the cruise or on the, the next leaders retreat for Punta Cana. So, okay, number one, homework really quick because we got to wrap it up. Journal your priorities. I think getting pen to paper will really help. Just your brain space and just getting it on paper. Number two is, tell each of your people that are starting for products, tell them about the opportunity also, whether it's in person or you have a little text that you just write up and that's one of your little systems that you do like on day 4 or something, just to let them know. Number 3 I wrote down is make a post. I promise you won't die. Brooke is on here. She's actually a friend that started a year ago, literally, and she's a Fast Start Senior Gold on the team. And I told, because she was starting really for the opportunity, but she was like, but I don't want to make a post. I was like, so then like a day or two later, I'm like, hey, it's time to make a post. And I'm like, I promise you won't die. Double dog dare you. And she did it. Okay, so that's number 3 is make a post. And if you guys are listening, whoever is listening, make this your list also, because it can be all of our homework assignments, not just Devin's or not just Jennifer's, right? Because this is rinse, wash, repeat. These are things that we do, and this is how this business goes, right? Okay, so make a post. And the 4th thing is write a list of your dream team people. Pray about it, and then just prayerfully and lovingly reach out, whether that's through a voice text, whether that's through picking up the phone and calling a friend or meeting somebody for lunch, or whatever that looks like. Through your own intuition what that needs to look like for your potential people on your team. So good. Thank you for popping on, Devin. Thanks for being brave.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
so excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I just gotta get settled in this house. I'm gonna get settled and do big things. But yes,
It'll be
no,
fine. And you know
great.
what? Even working through the crazy, sometimes
It's
there's
good.
a survival mode. Sometimes those have been my most productive seasons.
It's
And
good. No, it's really
God
good.
can-
And I value, and I think a lot of women, and I'm hearing that, like, I think we need this. We need each other in this capacity. I'm
Mhm.
at that season where he just turned a year old and I felt like I needed more. I mean, it's doing the mommy thing is great, but like, I feel like I needed this, I needed the business component. I needed the community. I needed this community element, and I feel like it's good to be with like-minded individuals who are working hard and ready to grow and challenging their comfort zones. And I may not be doing that in the weight room anymore, so this is a new way to do that, and it's really fruitful, and it helps me have the ability to help other people more, and so I feel really good about it.
Mhm. And yes,
Mhm.
it is such a sweet outlet. I mean, so many of us on this call are moms and still in the trenches with our small people.
Yeah.
But this is such a gift, and I'm so excited for you. The sky's the limit, seriously. Yes, Carissa says the community is one of the best things we have to offer in this business opportunity. And I think people don't realize it until they're in. That, wow, I really needed this. I really needed the people. And when you get to your first like larger Plexus event, I think you'll be like, wow, salt of the earth people. Oh my word, what a gift.
I can see. Yeah.
Yes. Molly asks, should I be making 1 Plexus post per day along with regular life stuff? I would say hands down, yes. Yes. There's obviously more than one way to do this, but I would say having a social media presence is really beneficial, even for the new VIPs on all of our teams, for them to see us consistently showing up and sharing on social media. All right, I'm going to leave you all with this little thought to practice and just as perspective. Where he gives the calling, he gives the capacity. And I know Devin is in a really, really busy season, maybe survival mode. So maybe some of you are in that mode right now, but where he gives the calling, he gives the capacity. And so meditate on that Psalm 90, verse 17. He can magnify the hours in our day. He can fill in the gaps like crazy. So I'll leave you all with that. Thanks for popping on. I hope this was a blessing to you all. Talk to y'all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.